How are you handling fraud?
Well, generally with the channels we use, there's a bright light being shown on them. Like things like Google and Facebook are very, very aware of fraud. We don't tend to buy in the heavily risky channels of real-time bidding in any significantly dangerous way, because we don't need as much volume as most folks. So it's much more of a low-level concern of ours. Our customers don't experience it very much. But I think the real challenge is, as the demand out there surges and there's more and more handoffs between exchanges and networks and real-time bidding, there's less accountability. And we're seeing much more of a need to bake in fraud detection. But it's not just the bad actors. The real challenge is, frankly, the gray areas. Is it legitimate video if it autoplays and the ad is not really seen by someone because it's not on the screen? More of concern for me for the long-term health of the industry is a lot of these publishers are so annoying with their autoplays and their pop-ups and their interstitials. They're losing audience. They may not realize it, but people are simply saying, oh, I see this link, but I'm not clicking through. Because, for example, there's a lot of publishers like Forbes, which I feel have way too much ad load and interruption on their websites. Now, if you're adding those high-value ad units, you see a surge in initial revenue, but you see a decline over the long term in people who actually return and keep you going. And so I think we're looking right now at an area where it's the Wild West, but we need to seek a balance in ad load of quality units that people can charge more for because they're good. We need to seek a balance so that the user experience isn't awful. And we have to have better detection of the bad actors who are loading ad units in where they can't be seen, or pages where they can't be seen. Because that's really just dragging down adoption and trust across the board.
Let's talk a little bit about the issue of viewability and how it impacts brands.
Right. I think the challenge with ads across the board is that all we can do is give the user an opportunity to see it. It's when there's no opportunity to even see it that it's really deceptive by the publisher. We all know that some people, when they watch a television commercial, everybody knows they have 2 minutes, and so some people will go to the bathroom, some people will make a sandwich, some people might text their friend. And it's our job to capture them with good creative, and essentially by providing the targeting that lets us put an ad that somebody might be interested in. There's no expectation of 100%. But if they could never view the ad, even in a good day in the first place, it's simply fraud. And it's bad because what it does, it drags down the value of all the other ads as well. If you put 10 ads on a page instead of one good one, you should see a decline in the price for all of them because of that. So I think we're talking about really finding a good balance in user experience and true value provided to the advertiser. The publisher shouldn't be responsible for essentially creative and appropriate targeting and the product, but they should be responsible for providing that opportunity to be seen. And that's really the key. Now, there's a lot of different solutions out there, but I think fundamentally there's a lot of us know and look the other way. That ad on the bottom of the page doesn't get seen, or when it does, it's very rare. Some of it is reflected in the fact that industry professionals know this and will bid less, but a lot of it is put into a pool of run-of-network and marketed as if it's premium, and that's simply unfair. And when publishers complain about the low prices in programmatic, that's what drives it. When I don't have the trust to buy it at a higher price because I know that I have to blend together all those sort of fake views to get to the good stuff. So the more fluff you put into the pool that I'm buying, that brings down the overall price that I as an advertiser can pay. And that's why you're seeing low prices. The good guys are frustrated because they have quality inventory that doesn't get its full value, but it's because we're loading in so much low quality stuff. And a lot of people know this. They know this, that they're looking the other way.
Do you think it'll get better?
I think the market will make it get better. We saw the appearance of premium exchanges. That was driven by the fact that how else do you separate out the people that are adhering to at least more trustworthy standards, I'm not saying they're perfect, from the vast mass of unwashed inventory out there. Even AppNexus, which is fundamentally a marketplace, has realized the need to put something in called verified, where they're at least doing some check on the publisher. And look, they're not saying that anything else than other than there's a person to track it down with, but we hear so many horror stories that the whole move to premium isn't saying that the value itself is going to be any higher or lower. It's an attempt to get rid of the stuff that's bad, and that overall drags down the average price, which I think is a great move. We have to clarify that. I mean, fundamentally, the people who are going to pay the price on the bottom are the real fraudsters. And in sort of the middle, it's the people who try to deceptively say, oh, we've got this great property, but they've got so much ad load that the value of the ads aren't worth as much. So premium should not just be about viewability, but it should also be about, is it a fair ad load? Is the user experience ultimately one that provides for the possibility of engagement? The Online Publishers Association did a study a while back on regular websites that showed that they had better response on these higher quality publishers. And I think a large part of that isn't actually just the content, it's the fact that they don't overload their pages with ads, so it's possible for the advertiser's message to get through, which I think is really what advertisers want, the opportunity to connect.